I have got an absolute classic for you today. This is a Fairline Turbo 36. Now this particular model came out at the beginning of the 80s. This is in fact one of the last. It's a 1992. So this is 30 years old, but this model dates back almost 40 years. And these are brilliant. They were incredibly popular. Back in the 80s, every marina had at least 2 or 3 of these in it, or so it seemed. In fact, they were so popular that a lot of people referred to them as the Saloon Sierra, because the Ford Sierra was the most popular car at the time, and in the Saloon you just saw dozens of these whizzing around. Really great boat, and this one's really stood the test of time as well, so it's really interesting to show you on here and explain what it's all about. We're going to start right here at the aft end. You've got a bathing platform here. These are davits. This is how we carry a dinghy back in the 80s. You literally winch these wires down, clip them on and lift it up against the back, and it would sit up against those arms just there. Now they did 2 versions of this. They did a 36 sedan as well. This is the aft cabin, the Turbo. The sedan had a cockpit back here, and then you walked into a saloon and there's a ladder up to a flybridge. This was the more popular of the 2. The sedan's a very nice boat as well, but this one gives you incredible accommodation. In fact, this would make a brilliant liverboard boat, and I'll take you inside and show you all of that, but we'll take a wander around the decks first of all. Now, it's a very original boat, this one, but it's had a few gentle upgrades, and one of them is this decking. It's an artificial decking, and it just smartens the whole thing up, so rather than just the plain white, this just looks really good. We've got the power anchor winch up here on the bow, and this is how she looks from here. Now if we head up down this side, we'll take a walk around the whole boat and then go on inside. She's a flybridge boat, so you can see that there. Now what you find with this, of course, with a lot of boats with the aft cockpit, you'd come back down the side deck and step down into the cockpit. On this one you step up slightly onto an aft deck, and the reason for this is because it gives accommodation then the whole length of the boat. A lot of these boats, they stop here and this is a cockpit. On this one, the entire length of the boat is all living accommodation. So we've got this deck here. Even this upholstery, I'm pretty sure, looking at the colour scheme on it, is original, and it just goes to show if you build a quality boat how well they last. This is for the deck shower. That's the control for the shower. The shower itself is somewhere, but I don't know where. That's interesting. I wonder where that's tucked away. It'll be around here someplace. Okay, I am fascinated now by where the shower is. There'll be a short interlude while I search for it. Ah, there it is. The actual shower head is off at the minute, screws into there, and that pulls out from there. If we head on round, now another big advantage with the aft deck configuration is that at this era they all had ladders up to the flybridge rather than stairs. Because this is much closer to the flybridge, they were able to put just 3 steps in, and that takes us on up. I'll show you this actually while we're going past. This radar arch hinges. You can see there's a hinge back here, so you can release the bolt at the front, drop that all back. So if you want to take this up a river and you need to get into lower bridges, then you can do. And then this is the flybridge. So you've got seating all the way around here, helm seat of course in the centre, and then the helm position just here. Now this has had some upgrades on the navigational equipment, so it's got the new Simrad screens, for example, and a new Simrad VHF radio. There's a new Simrad autopilot on here as well. So that's all been upgraded, but the rest of it's pretty original. So the original throttle controls, I would say that's an original steering wheel, and that's the compass underneath there. But you do get a tremendous view from up here. We're in Sultan's Marina at the minute. Sultan's Brokerage had this one for sale, and in fact Sultan's Brokerage has just become Fairline dealers, so you've just got the flags you can see up here and here, so that's nice. If we spin on round, we'll head on back and I'll show you the interior, because the interior on these, for a 38-foot boat, well 36 foot really, but probably 38 foot by the time you include the bathing platform and so forth, is pretty spectacular. So there's a sliding door here, and then if we head on inside, there's a couple of steps down, and that brings us into the saloon area. It's a really good size. If I come right back into this corner, you can see how good that is. This is a dining area, or like a lounging area, and this has got one of the most simple table mechanisms I've ever seen. So these leaves lift up to give you a really good sized dining table, or you can drop them down if you want to have it more like a coffee table. It's not the most elegant of mechanisms, but it is very effective. So that drops down like that, and then if you want that at coffee table height, you just flick that little lever there, pull on that, and the whole thing drops down, and now you've got a nice lounge area with a coffee table. Very simple and effective engineering. That's fantastic. If we head up here, then the lower helm is here, so it's a double helm seat. This again has had a bit of upgrading. On the original Turbo 36s, what you got was the big Volvo engine controls here, and then switches along here. And on this one, it's been upgraded, I think probably because it's a late boat, it was probably factory upgraded. So now on here, what you have instead is all your engine instrumentation is up along here, and then your switches are down here. Whereas say originally there's big engine pod controls here, and then switches along here. What that's done is it's freed up space for this Simrad screen. That's not original, that's been upgraded again. And if we look over here, then the engine keys go in here, and then you've got your throttle controls. These are the original cable throttle controls, and again, then the new VHF radio is down there. You've got sliding windows, so if you want to open these, everything's all nice and simple at this age, isn't it? And then up here are the original Echo Sounder and the log. The log's got 4,200 miles on it. It shows you how much these boats often get used, not a huge amount. The engine hours also, if you look, at just over 1,000 on these clocks. So a lot of these boats get used mostly for accommodation. So people come down and stay on them in the marina and have a little poodle out, perhaps into a bay. And you could have a weekend on here where you don't actually put more than a couple of hours on it. So that's why the hours on these are often very low. If we head forward, the galley area is down here. Nice size and also well equipped, because you've got your oven down here and the grill is underneath. Again, this is all original. Look how clean it is. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? And then underneath here is a 3-burner hob. Again, all very clean and tidy. And then the original microwave as well. I remember these from when these boats were new, these sharp microwaves that they put into them. You've got sink here and another one underneath there. In fact, there is another lid for that goes on here. You can see that one actually is just up there. This is storage in behind here. So plates and cups and all that can live in there. And in fact, again, these are the original Fairline plates. How cool was that? It's such an original boat, it's lovely. Then round here you've got more storage. The fridge is down underneath here, and then there's a cutlery drawer just in there. And that one's a bit of storage in the bin, like so. And if we spin on round then, the day heads is here. Nice size, and what they've done is they've separated off this as a shower area. So you've got this area which you can keep dry, you can curtain this off, and that is a shower. If you want it to be a shower, there's also the loo is in there as well, because that lives underneath here. And that is the shower control. Sink there, and then again storage about the place, so down underneath here for example, up in behind here as well. It's nice, isn't it? And then we come right up into the bow. This is your guest cabin. So right at the front of the boat now, hence obviously the shape of it, and you've got 2 single berths here, but there are infill cushions. If you look here, there's one there, another one up there, and then they sit on these fellas here, which come out, there's 2 of them. They slot into here, onto these little chaps, drop down to there, cushions drop on, big double bed. So again, really simple engineering, and you can set that up however you want. On this one, as was always the way in boats of this age, the anchor chain locker is actually accessed from in here. So there it is. This is one of the things that on later boats you find now, of course, that that's all sealed up and you get to it from the deck, which does make more sense, but it just goes to show the way that the manufacturers sort of learned as they went along. Well, nothing wrong with that, of course, still works. It just means that if you want to access it, you've got to come inside to get to it. Over here then is hanging locker. There's more storage down underneath, like so. And then if you spin on round, similar sort of thing on this side. And a little mirror. And if we come on back, you'll see the advantage of the aft cabin layout, because close that one and head right on back through the saloon. Oh, I'll show you this as we go past, because this is the AC and DC power. So up here you've got your AC control, so how much amps are being drawn, the main RCD circuit breaker, and you can switch on here, your battery charger, your socket. So all that is your 240 volt stuff that comes onto the boat. You can see how it switches here. And then underneath DC power. So that one turns on the main battery isolator for the domestics, and then these are all circuit breakers for everything from galley lights to engine room lights to echo sounder. Everything is there, and you can see again your DC volts and your amps that are being drawn. So that's all nice and easy to get at. Get atable, I believe some people would say. That's a nice saloon though, isn't it? And again, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure that these carpets are original, this upholstery is original. And it's all in such good condition, and the woodwork as well. Of course, this is back in the era where they put teak into boats. So very traditional looking, very nice indeed. The original Philips stereo over here, look, you put your cassettes into there. Do you remember cassettes? No, I thought not. Put a flat screen TV up here, that's quite useful. There's more storage down this side then. This is like a little bar area here, so you can see that's for your bottles. This is interesting. This is the Fairline book that Fairline put out when they hit 50 years old. And the reason I'll show you this is because, look who's in it. Can you see that? There we go. Boat test and Nick Burnham. This is one of my boat tests on the Fairline Tigers that I did for Motorboats Monthly magazine. There we go, little claim to fame. That's the Eberspecker heating control. So that's diesel-fired central heating. That runs off the diesel tank. You don't get generators on these boats, so everything is gas for cooking, diesel for heating, and batteries for electricity for lights and that kind of thing, or shore power, of course. If you come on down here, there's more storage tucked away everywhere, really. So lots of decent storage. That's what I mean about it being a great livable boat. And then the owner's cabin, well, that's back here. Really lovely size, and of course it's a big square room because the transom of the boat, the back of the boat, is there, so you've got a very square shape to this room. It feels like a bedroom rather than a cabin, which again from a livable point of view is fantastic. I mean, not that this wouldn't make a great cruising boat, of course. They have very good hulls on these and they're really solid. In fact, I must show you something in a moment with regard to that. Again, a ton of storage, so hanging locker in here. This is all storage along here, like so. Decent sized bed. There's a hatch up above that goes up to the aft deck, so you can get a bit of light and ventilation in through there. And that teak, it's also traditional and warm and lovely, isn't it? This is how boats were built back in the 80s and 90s. Load more storage along here, and then this one of course has its own ensuite. So if we go into here, there we go. So you've got the toilet just there, the sink, and then the shower is up there. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let's close that one up. I'm going to take a walk over here actually, because I want to show you this cabin from all angles. It's such an impressive cabin. Let's come right back into the corner. There we go. How cozy is that? That's fantastic. Okay, last thing to talk about then is the engines. Actually, I want to talk about the hull as well, because back in the 80s, say this is actually a 90s boat, but this particular model started in the 80s, they weren't quite as au fait with the engineering of hulls as they are today. So what they did back then was just made them super, super strong. I mean, really strong. They were less concerned about weight, they were more concerned about strength. And this boat had a bow thruster fitted last year. Very useful thing to have, and they kept a cutout of the hull. Look at this. That is how thick the hull is. Let's come around here with it. On this boat, it's absolutely rock solid, isn't it? Quite amazing. So that is a cross section of what they cut out of the hull. In fact, you can see there it's still got the anti-fouling on the outside. Brilliant. Let's drop that back. So the engines then are under the floor here. There is an easy access hatch just to drop in and check things there, but you can't actually see them very well from a filming point of view. So you then got these two panels here that you can take out. Should point out as well, that one will convert to a double bed. So if you want extra sleeping, you can have it up here. So you've got two in the aft cabin, two in the forward cabin, two up here if you need them. And then to get this one out, it's easy if you take this out first, but what I'm going to do is just gently wriggle it out, if I can. He says, famous last words. No, you can't. Right, hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. This is a two-handed job. Go on, yep. There we go. It's easier if you move the seat. There we are. That'll get us under there for now. So, there we go. Engine. So that is, there's two of those, of course, and it's a Volvo Penta TAMD 61. Hugely well-proven engine. There's loads, I mean thousands and thousands of these went into boats in the 80s and 90s. They were the engine to have in a sort of a mid 30-foot planing boat. The other one is over, I don't know where you can see it, over on that side, and they are 306 horsepower each. They're straight six. I think they're a 6 litre if my memory serves me correctly. And top speed on this boat, up sort of, low to mid 20s really, sort of, 23, 24 knots, somewhere in that sort of area, flat out. Cruising high teens, say 16, 18 knots, something like that. It's a conventional shaft drive. I don't know how well we can see those, but the shafts go out of the back behind the gearboxes. So nice and simple. And these predate electronics, so the cable controls for the gear shift and the throttles and everything is nice and mechanical. So there we go. I'm going to try and put that one down now carefully. Let's just pop you there for a moment. Ooh, the string's not long enough. Talk amongst yourselves. There we go. There are easier ways to do that when you're not holding a GoPro. I think that's about it. Where am I going to sit? Sit here at the helm, I think. So I'm going to say huge thanks to Sultan's Brokerage. They've organised this tour, and huge thanks, of course, to you guys for watching. We will look forward to catching you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.